The GeForce RTX 4080 is NVIDIA's latest $1,200 GPU, which is a gigantic 71% increase over the RTX 3080 Planck Mass SRP. However, NVIDIA would like us to forget about the RTX 3080 and instead concentrate on the $1,200 3080 Ti. Before we go any further, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Specs. The GeForce RTX 4080 is built on AD103 silicon, which is 38% smaller than the AD102 silicon used by the RTX 4090, resulting in a 40% reduction in transistors. However, the 4080 has 62% more transistors than the 3090 Ti from the previous generation. Given these numbers, it should come as no surprise that the 4080 has 41% fewer CUDA cores than the 4090, a 33% narrower memory bus, and 11% less L2 cache than the 4090. As for core clocks, there is no difference between the RTX 4090 and 4080, with the 4090 having a little advantage at 2,505 MHz versus 2,520 MHz for boost clocks. The RTX 4080 has been equipped with faster 22.4 gigabits per second GDDR6X memory, a 7% improvement over the series flagship. However, the overall memory bandwidth has been reduced by 29% to 717 GB per second due to the smaller 256-bit memory bus. The RTX 4080, according to NVIDIA, has a total graphics power rating of 320 watts. This is the same rating as the 3080, except the maximum GPU temperature has been reduced from 93 to 90 degrees Celsius. Design. The outside design of the Founders Edition RTX 4080 is identical to that of the 4090. The only difference we can currently account for is the 4080 FE's 3% reduced weight. Clearly, there are some physical changes occurring beneath the surface. We assume the power delivery has been reduced, the memory configuration has been altered, and the GPU die has shrunk. It is also likely that NVIDIA made modifications to the cooling system, but we did not have time to disassemble the product for this review. Nonetheless, they physically resemble the same thing. This indicates that the GeForce RTX 4080 continues to utilize the contentious 16-pin 12V HPWR power connection. In addition to the addition of 4th-generation Tensor cores and 3rd-generation RT cores, the GeForce 40 series introduces DLSS 3, a capability that is now specific to the new series. Since we evaluated NVIDIA's DLSS 3 technology, not much has changed, with the exception of the release of a few additional titles that support it. Our analysis was conducted following the release of the RTX 4090, and it remains the most detailed description of the technology. In our testing, DLSS 3 performance on the RTX 4080 is comparable to that of the RTX 2080. NVIDIA is aware of the issues we've raised and is working on a few improvements for things like UI components and transitions that are broken. As for our overall impressions of DLSS 3, the technology does offer certain advantages, although it is more limited than DLSS 2. Gamers will derive the maximum benefit from DLSS 3's frame generation technology when games are already running at a good frame rate. This enhances visual smoothness on displays with a high refresh rate and works pretty well under these settings, since it conceals visual artifacts and minimizes latency issues. We wouldn't recommend it for gaming below 120 FPS, so it's more of a specialized feature that enhances NVIDIA's already impressive feature set. Another major issue with DLSS 3 benchmarks is reporting frame generation as a FPS metric, as 120 FPS utilizing DLSS 3 frame generation is not actually 120 FPS, but rather the smoothness of 120 FPS with the input of approximately half that frame rate, plus a few graphical defects. This is a significant concern when comparing benchmark results, and we recommend that anyone benchmarking with frame generation enabled describe the values as 120 DLSS 3.0 FPS. If you enjoyed today's video, then feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to our channel.